Hello, my name is Grant Haughawout and I work for Andretti Autosport on the 27 car, driven by Marco Andretti. On average, the cost is roughly $1 million when you take into consideration the actual rolling chassis of the car, the engine, as well as tires, and then whatever expenses that are incurred, which is also manpower. Typically, if you get into an accident here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's pretty significant. So most likely, if you get into an accident here, you're out. But if you can fix it, you do, because points are very important at the end of the season. As far as the price for the accident, it just depends on what you damage. The wing is $25,000 for the front, and the side pod just depends how extensive the damage is. But like I said, typically here it's pretty extensive, so it's quite expensive. This year we're running the Honda. It is a V6 2.2 liter twin turbo engine. Depending on the boost you run, it's anywhere from 550 to 700 horsepower, which is a pretty big range, but depending on what track you're in, you can adjust that. So that's pretty much the horsepower, and you can tune that up or down. A typical lap speed for the Indianapolis 500 right now is anywhere from 215 to 225. And that all fluctuates with the amount of yellow laps you have, how many accidents that will change the average. But when we take the green flag, usually within 3 laps, you're up to 220 miles an hour. And that's kind of an average depending on, the yellows. There's several safety features that are on the car, as well as when you're going around the track. The biggest improvement that's been made in the last 20 years is probably the safer barrier wall, which is actually a forgiving wall. So the impact isn't significant. So if the impact isn't significant, less G's go into your driver, so that helps with injuries. The car is basically made to break apart in the event of an accident, which will distribute energy out so it doesn't go into the driver. So when you see an accident and there's debris going everywhere, that's kind of on purpose. As far as the tub where the driver sits, that's the most safe part of the car. It's got intrusion panels, so the suspension doesn't go into the driver. It's got carbon fiber built into the whole body, Kevlar for intrusion, and obviously the driver also wears protective gear. Helmet, gloves, fire protection. There's fire protection in the car if it does catch on fire, but there's numerous safety features on the car as well as around the car. Weather's a huge factor in IndyCar, in racing in general. The cooler it is, the engine likes it. It gets more horsepower. The tires like it. It gets more grip. When the track gets hot, it gets kind of oily. A lot of the rubber that the car leaves on the track kind of gets oily, so it gets more slick. So your lap times typically drop when that situation happens, when it gets warm or hot out. The cooler, the better. I'm not a race car driver, but I would assume that if you were to ask one, that they would say probably driving here on this track in Indianapolis versus 465 any day, because when you're driving on 465, you don't know the person next to you, you don't know their habits. All these guys have habits when they drive, and all the other drivers know those habits. So that's definitely an advantage. I would say here any day over 465. I believe most teams have their own insurance, and it's very similar to what you would have in your automobile as well. If you have a small fender bender, you might want to fix it yourself and not turn it into the insurance. Your deductibles go up. And then the same thing happens here. If we can fix it at the shop, we'll do that. Obviously, if it's a complete write-off when the car is what they call tubbed or destroyed, then I'm sure insurance has a big part of the equation. When you get involved in racing, it's a It's a dangerous sport, and you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. If a car crashes or starts to spin in front of you and you end up getting caught in the debris, you're just as much as at fault as he is when it comes down to paying for the damage. Yes, IndyCar provides the immediate attention to the driver. The Haughawout safety team is probably the best in the world. A lot of times they get there to the accident before the car actually stops to get the driver out and seek immediate medical attention, whether it's to the on-site facility here, if it's somewhat not severe, to getting into a Lifeline helicopter and taking to Methodist Hospital. Whatever needs to be done gets done, and it's provided by IndyCar.